We've been in this home for 6 years, and when we bought it, we knew that there was some work that needed to be done on the exterior. So what made us realize that it was time, honestly, was one of the doors in the back started to have a lot of water damage, and I think we had just waited long enough. It was time to get it done. And if you kind of went around our house at the time and looked at the bottom of the Hardie board that we did have, it was all starting to crack. And I talked to my neighbor who's lived here for longer than us, and he said the Hardie was 20 years old. So it was time. It needed an update, and honestly, it wasn't just the quality of the boards that were left. We also aesthetically wanted a change. So all those sort of factors told us it's time to get something done. So the biggest concern we had when we were trying to consider contractors, honestly, was just somebody that we trusted, somebody that we felt like could deliver on time and really be transparent with us. Not knowing what's underneath the boards that we did have. Obviously, you want to work with somebody that you trust because these jobs are big expenses. I mean, outside of purchasing a home, for us at least, this is one of the biggest expenses we've ever had. Our biggest concern was, transparency and trust with whoever we're going with. So we chose SmardBuild because as we got to know the team and talked with them about the options, we just felt like they were the most consistent in their communication with us. One of the things that really stood out actually was that once we had a proposal in hand, instead of just emailing it to us and then trying to call us to talk about it, they actually came out here in person and talked with us, which stood out because we looked for 3 different bids and they were the only ones who did that. Being that I work in client service, one of the things that's really important to me is that personal touch and wanting to talk with us. It's a big job, right? And so anything that's associated with that job is a large contract that we're signing. And, it just made a big difference to us. That really stood out. I would say pretty early on, we trusted them certainly enough. We trusted SmardBuild certainly enough to sign the contract. So I think it was really more working with us. One of the things that we wanted to sort out, was also just financing. And so that took a little bit of time for us to just make sure we had everything set. And what I appreciated was I never felt pressure or like they were pushing us. They trusted that we were engaged, right? That what we were saying was going to take a little bit of time, but we did want to work on the project with them. And so that sort of reciprocity and trust I felt pretty early on. And that's really what motivated us to keep working with them along the way. Communication throughout the project was great. So we originally got the windows painted, so that was sort of the first step. We tried to get that done, but it was a bit cold out, so it took a few months then to get the siding project started. But it was great. Working with Merrick was fantastic. He was really clear with us. He came out to the site before they started the work to kind of talk us through what we needed to do. We live in Chicago, so in that way, there's more limitations in space. So we kind of talked through where would they put the pallets, where would everything be positioned, how would that impact us? And Merrick was great about it, right? And so I felt like along the way, we always had clear communication. If I had questions, I swear we were on the phone within an hour. It was really great, a great experience for us. When we were working with Merrick and the team, we were anticipating some surprises or challenges. And really what it came down to was we talked and I said, anything that comes up, let's just have a conversation or show me, what it is. Again, being that we bought this house 6 years ago, but that the work on the siding and the exterior had been done over 20 years ago, I wasn't really sure what we would find. And so the way that it really ended up happening was the gentleman who worked on the siding project here from Merrick and the SmardBuild team, they actually just brought me outside and showed me. And it was great because I guess I found over time, I seek to understand what's going on. And I really wanted to have a better understanding of how our house is built and what to sort of watch out for. And the guys were always happy to bring me out, show me pictures, show me how the work was done. Actually discovered that our house probably has had 2 additions built on, but I only know that because they took us outside to talk about the repairs. I also felt like they were very clear about the scope change of those repairs. So we knew early on that there were some ups and extras is the best way to put it, but I never felt like it was a mystery to us and that we were brought in when we should be, which is great. Day to day, it was great, honestly, having them work here because I think they honored all the commitments they made when we signed the contract. So part of what we appreciated again was that they would clean up every day. So I felt like any day, you could look at how much work was going on. It was a tremendous amount of work every day. They cleaned up, got the nails out of the way, made sure that all the boards were put away. We have 2 young kids, and so even though we're not playing in the backyard in the winter, we are obviously going from the garage into the house, and so it needs to be safe. So I felt like they took that into consideration. I would also say that they would give us a heads up as best they could about maybe where they were working for the day. My wife and I, we both work from home, so obviously having the pounding and banging on the house and we're on conference calls isn't always ideal. But we had a pretty good sense if they were going to be in the back that day or in front that day. I would say it was as least invasive as it could be. And I appreciated that because, we do work from home every day, so it makes it easier. It's just a huge upgrade. The before and after, I can't even begin to express how much of a positive change it is for us. You know, the boards that we had, the doors, everything is just aged. And to be honest with you, previously we had a color that we didn't really love either. I think that all the effort that went into designing things, the color decisions that we made along with Merrick and the SmardBuild team, they're really exciting to us. I would say that the feeling that you kind of get from it is just excitement or proud. I mean, you know, I'm not staring at the outside of my house every day, but I know now that this thing that's been on our mind for 6 years is finally done, and done as well as it could have been. I guess that excites us because it was a process to get here for us to even make sure that we were ready to do it. And then when you have a team like SmardBuild do the work and you see how much quality went into it, you feel like every penny was worth it. Our everyday life, it certainly improved it from the standpoint of, again, just pride in the home. Think that we actually have doors that keep the cold out. Not to say that we had big issues before, but you could feel the draft and those sorts of different things. Gutters that function the way that they should, so we're not as worried about storms coming through because we used to things to sort of build up on the sides. But overall, I think aesthetically as well, it just looks like a home that's been updated, that's more modern. You know, look, as a homeowner, you know, there are always surprises and different things that come up. And then I think this is, again, one of the biggest projects we'll ever work on. So to have that done and sort of behind us, but know that it was done in a way that's going to last for a very long time, it's peace of mind as well. I would tell you know, if you're a homeowner and you're considering SmardBuild, I would definitely tell you to go with them. I loved working with Merrick. We've been in communication before the project, during, certainly after as well. I found them to be really honest with us, transparent, so much so that we did the exterior, but there's some things we want to do inside the house as well. And we had such a great experience. They'll be at the top of the list when we go down that road one day, an updated bathroom or some things we want to do in the basement.